Oh man, oh man, oh man, it feels good to be back in the everlasting tabernacle of the Creator. It feels good to be making these videos for the everlasting seed of existence. So thank you guys for coming back over here one more time. And as you guys can see from the title of the video, we'll be discussing a very potent and very pertinent topic when it comes to the so-called autochthon, or the so-called black man and black woman, not just in America, but around the entire world. This disease known as diabetes, whether type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 7, type 9, whatever type you're thinking about, it's affecting our people, and it shouldn't be. But we're going to discuss a little bit about it today. We're going to discuss the causes of it, what it actually is, because a lot of misnomers about what diabetes actually is, and what we can do to alleviate this problem that's affecting many of our people. With that being said, let's get into it. Now, before I start, I just want to give a little background on myself and my family history with this disease. My grandmother and a couple of my uncles actually came down with this disease. Now, my grandmother, she actually passed away due to this disease a couple of years ago, and I saw the debilitating effects that it had on her. So many different things were happening to her. She was in constant pain, constant derision, constant consternation because of this ailment that could be prevented, and even when she came down with it, could have been alleviated. But we're not going to cry over spilled milk. We're going to find ways not to spill the milk anymore. So many of my family members are very aware of this disease, this ailment, this problem, due to its effects that it's having on our people. So with that being said, let's talk about what diabetes actually is. Now, diabetes is characterized as a disease in which the body's ability to produce or respond to hormone insulin is impaired, resulting in abnormal metabolism of carbohydrates and elevated levels of glucose in the blood and urine. So this hormone insulin plays a very vital role in our bodies, and when it's not secreted, or when it's not produced enough, the body goes into a state of consternation, and diseases such as diabetes can arise. Now, to get even more specific, with type 2 diabetes, the body either doesn't produce enough insulin, or it resists the insulin that the body is producing. Now, before I go any further, I want to break down something that a lot of people should know. The human, or the body of existence, it's a very ingenuitive, amazing, wonderfully made system. And when it's taken care of properly, it yields many wonderful fruits. And for it to be taken care of properly, the body needs to be in homeostasis. Now, homeostasis is balance. Homeostasis is not too alkaline, nor is it too acidic. It's the perfect balance that the body needs to properly function, because the body doesn't want too much of anything, and it doesn't want too little of anything either. And so when the body is thrown out of homeostasis, so many different things can happen. The body doesn't respond properly well to things that are happening to it. And so diseases such as diabetes, cancer, heart disease, pneumonia can arise when they shouldn't. So we should all be taking steps to make sure that we get our bodies into homeostasis, so none of these diseases can affect us. But not to digress too much, let's get back to the topic. Some of the symptoms of diabetes include increased thirst, frequent urination, hunger, fatigue, and blurred vision. And in some rare cases, there may be no symptoms. which is the scariest part of it. Now, let's get even more personal with myself. I told you in the beginning of this video that a couple of my family members came down with this disease. Now, a few years ago, I was told that I was pre-diabetic. If that makes any sense. I was having some diabetic symptoms, I guess, but I didn't realize that they were happening. And if I didn't go to the doctor, I wouldn't have known it at all, because I went to the doctor for a completely different reason. I was just going to get a regular checkup because I needed to do some things for school purposes. And then the doctor told me, Mr. Nelson, you're actually pre-diabetic, and we need to do some things to make sure you don't actually come down with the full disease. And so that came as a shock to me, because I never showed any symptoms of it. I never had fatigue, never had any blurred vision, no increased thirst, no increased urination. Nothing really that would let me even think about even thinking that I was even close to having any ailment like that. But it came as a surprise to me, and that's what kind of started me on my health journey, because I don't want anyone else to be going through this problem, because I've seen the debilitating effects of it. I've seen what it did to my family before, so I didn't want any problems to even come my way. And so that's even to go to show you that this ailment called diabetes is very insidious, because you might not even know that you're even carrying it, but you have it, which is crazy. Some of the other symptoms of diabetes include high blood pressure and high blood sugar. Now, high blood sugar could be a precursor for developing diabetes. Now, many of our families in the black community, we have an issue with high blood sugar because we live a very high stressed lifestyle. A lot of us are eating bad foods. A lot of us have poor diets, not just the foods that we eat, but things that we watch, things that we breathe, things that we listen to, things that we surround ourselves in a very everyday basis is not healthy for us. Now, to get even more familiar with it, there are 27 million people in the U.S. with type 2 diabetes, with another 86 million who have pre-diabetes. Now, so the United States population, they say is around 300 million. Now that's 27 million people of that 300 million that has diabetes. Now, that number could be skewed either up or down, but still, that's 27 million people too much. Now, some of the causes of this disease is insulin, which is the hormone produced by your pancreas. It allows cells to turn glucose from the food you eat into energy. People with type 2 diabetes make insulin, but their cells don't use it as well as they should. At first glance, the pancreas makes more insulin to try to get glucose into the cells, but eventually the body can't keep up, and the sugar builds and builds up in your blood instead. Now, some of the underlying causes of diabetes include genes and family history. Now, diabetes is not characterized as a quote-unquote hereditary disease, but some of the lifestyle choices that our people before us that carried diabetes had is passed down to the children. So, say your great uncle, he ate a lot of pork, he ate a lot of meat, he ate a lot of fried foods. He passed that same torch or that same lifestyle down to his children. And now his children are eating a lot of fried foods, eating a lot of meat, eating a lot of this, eating a lot of that, eating a lot of sweets. And then that person passes down to their children, and so forth and so forth and so forth. So it might not be a quote-unquote hereditary disease, but the family history of bad dietary choices is passed down, which causes the same disease to come up and up and up over and over and over again. Another underlying cause of diabetes is extra weight and obesity. Being overweight and or obese can cause insulin resistance, especially if you are carrying your extra pounds around the middle or your gut and around your stomach area. Metabolic syndrome. People with insulin resistance often have a group of conditions including high blood glucose, extra fat around the waist, and too much glucose from your liver. When blood sugar is low, your liver makes and sends out glucose. After you eat, your blood sugar goes up, and usually the liver will slow down and store its glucose for later. But some people's liver don't. They keep cranking out more sugar. So, as I stated previously, the body seeks homeostasis, and when it's out of balance, so many different ailments can arise, and the liver and the colon play a huge role in diabetes. And now, a lot of diabetics, if you realize, some of them are skinny, but most of them are overweight. That's because their colon is clogged. Not only their colon, but their liver as well. And so not only a liver cleanse, but a colon cleanse is needed to handle this ailment known as diabetes. Now, another underlying cause of diabetes is bad communication between cells. Sometimes cells send the wrong signals or don't pick up messages correctly. If these problems affect how your cells make and use insulin or glucose, a chain reaction can lead to diabetes. Another underlying cause is broken beta cells. They're the cells that make the insulin send out the wrong amount of insulin at the wrong time. Your blood sugar gets thrown off. So, we've gone over genes, family history, weight, metabolic syndromes, and bad communication between cells, and also broken beta cells. Now, all of these underlying causes of diabetes, whether type 1 or type 2 or type 3, can all be alleviated. They can all be excreted from the body. But we have to make sure we put in the work for it to happen, because you don't get diabetes just by happenstance. Some people might be born with it, but most people develop it. So just like how you developed it, you can develop it out of your body. Now, many people who have diabetes, they have body soreness. Not only body soreness, they're increased fatigue. They get tired quickly. And also a lot of people who have diabetes, they realize that they can't grow their hair anymore. That's because there's a buildup of inflammation not only in the liver, but in the colon, as I just said. Now, the colon, if you don't know, is what produces mucus. Now, mucus, another name that it goes by is inflammation. Now, most diseases that's out here are caused by inflammation. If you have inflammation in your liver, you'll develop allergies, you'll develop acne, you'll develop some other things. If you have inflammation in your brain, you'll develop Alzheimer's. If you have inflammation in your skin, you'll develop skin disorders. The list goes on and on and on and on. But to get rid of this problem known as diabetes, one must first fast and change thy lifestyle. Because if you don't change your lifestyle, you will die. I don't mean to be so melancholy about it, but the truth is the truth. If you want to change, you have to first put in the work for it. And so, to get rid of this ailment known as diabetes, it can be alleviated through many different ways. I know some people are trying to develop a surgery where they can take the intestines of a clean animal. I know it sounds far-fetched, but of a clean animal, and transfer it over to a human, and those clean intestines of the animal will produce new cells inside the body that can fight the diabetes in the human. But you don't even have to go so far to even cut yourself open. All you have to do is change your diet. And for many so-called autochthons or black people or African Americans, whatever we're calling ourselves nowadays, diet is the number one issue for our people because we're eating the wrong foods. We're not only eating wrong foods, we're talking the wrong way. We're very disrespectful towards one another. Not only disrespectful, we're very harmful of one another as well. But that can all be alleviated with work. And now, there are many cures for diabetes. Well, one, as I mentioned previously, is fasting. Fasting is one of the most powerful weapons against any disease. It is said that a 7-day fast can cure almost any disease in the world. A 7-day dry fast, because diabetes, like most other diseases, you know what I'm saying, after they get introduced to the body, they get into the bloodstream. And what fasting does is it purifies the bloodstream and it makes the blood more oxygenated. It might not feel good when you're fasting. You might feel hungry, you might feel stressed, you might feel all these different things, but fasting is doing something for your body that most modern medicines aren't. Not only fasting, but also a diet rich in live, living foods, such as fruits, vegetables, and lots of water, because these things will help purify the liver and the colon at the same time. So a change in diet will yield great wonders when it comes to the fight in diabetes. So we've gone over many different things today. We've gone over what causes diabetes. We've gone over what diabetes is. We've gone over who diabetes affects. And we've gone over how you can help alleviate the issue of diabetes. Now, if you know someone who has diabetes, I ask you to please share this video with them. Please sit down and talk with them, because diabetes can lead to many other different ailments if left untreated. Now, people have had amputations, have had limbs cut off due to this issue. And as you all know, people have died because of this disease. Now, diabetes is preventable from getting it, and it's easy. I'm not going to say easy, but with work, you can get rid of it out of your body. So, with that being said, I'd like to thank you guys for coming back over here. I thank you guys for constantly supporting my product, my King's Oil. Everything that I do it for the tribe, for the tabernacle of existence. So, thank you guys, thank you guys, thank you guys. If you like the video, please click the like button, click share, and subscribe. Peace and shalom, and be one, family.